Monday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is great to be back. Took a couple weeks off there. Went up skiing at Aspen. Almost died again from HAPE. But whiz to HAPE 0 and had a great Christmas. Hopefully everybody had a great Christmas as well. Had a good couple flights over the weekend with the L39 and our squadron down here in South Florida. So just a great couple weeks, and we back at work and hitting it hard today. Had a good weekly options brief at noon, and then we just had our solo Amazon brief. Can you say holy solo Amazon, Batman? Take a look at Amazon today, up $125, nearly 4%. Nice $28,000 swing in my Amazon position. Here's how in this personal account we're looking in December, up $90,000, $91,000 this month in this personal account. Beautiful performance, and really happy with how we look in year to date. Year to date up, we're up 151. Good looking portfolio right here, but great move out of Amazon today. Okay, let's get strategic. Israeli submarine openly crosses Suez Canal toward the Persian Gulf as Iran tensions soar. What happened the week before this? The USS Georgia sailed through the Strait of Hormuz. When? In broad daylight, folks. We do not broadcast the movements of our submarines, man. I was in the Navy, folks, and we didn't know where our submarines were. Very, very highly secret, top secret movements with our submarines. Not this time. Oh, and by the way, can anybody tell me what is on the back of that submarine? Anybody know what that is? That's a DSRV, right? That's a deep submersible recovery vehicle, or it's a SEAL bus. SEALs get in that thing. It doesn't blow any bubbles. It's silent, and it can cruise and take SEALs to certain places. So the fact that this ballistic missile submarine, or attack sub, sailed through the strait in broad daylight on the surface is sending a message, along with Israel doing the same thing. That should get somebody's attention, not to mess around as we have hopefully a peaceful transition of power from the Trump to the Biden administration. China is still out there being China, trying to take over the world. Might have an ally in the White House pretty soon. The big guy, that's his call sign, right? The Chinese call Joe Biden the big guy. Make sure he gets 10%. But China, folks, is turning into an existential threat for this country. They've infiltrated our government from mayor positions. That Fang lady who had an affair with Eric Swalwell, who's married and has kids and is on the Intelligence Committee, and Nancy Pelosi knew about it, had affairs with mayors. And I'm not even going to get into it. China, folks, is stealing everything that is not locked down. They are hacked into everything. It's kind of weird how their Joint Strike Fighter looks like our Joint Strike Fighter and their aircraft carriers. This is going to be an ugly 4 years with Joe Biden, folks. I predict right now, and I think Trump screwed up with China and Hong Kong, right? He wanted his big, beautiful trade deals with China, didn't want to rock the boat, so really didn't go after Xi too hard with the Hong Kong crackdown, and the world essentially lost Hong Kong. So Trump completely screwed that up just to keep his big, beautiful trade deal. And then when China virus, the COVID, ripped apart, he downplayed it because Xi's a friend of mine, got a good backswing, comes to Mar-a-Lago, and then here we are, 300,000 Americans later. Going to be ugly with China. Interesting, though, that they're moving. I had a buddy who travels over there. He did the air show circuit over there. He flew the L39 over in China. Interesting stories, but he's like, dude, it's all digital currency, man. There ain't no paper. So this is interesting for all you Bitcoin cult members out there. What happens when China makes a world digital currency? And remember, folks, in a keystroke, literally in a keystroke, Bitcoin could be at zero. What do you mean? What do we mean? I think buddies close to me in big buildings up in a district, $600 million North Korea has stolen of Bitcoin over the past year or so. You could wake up tomorrow, folks, and Bitcoin can be at zero, either because China, North Korea, Russia, or fill in some other rogue government hits enter. Remember, folks, Bitcoin is not, it's the Wild West right now. That dollar bill, that money in your account, it's right. SDIC insured or this insured or this. You got Uncle Sammy back in U.S. dollars. Now, over beer, we can talk about the full faith and credit and how that dollar is really, you're going to be using a wheelbarrow in a couple years to go buy a loaf of bread, but that's a separate discussion. But be careful with this digital currency. Right? The main reason, folks, the main reason you don't wake up one day with your brokerage account at zero or your bank account at zero is because all the world kind of leaders know that if you mess with somebody's financial system, it would be considered a first strike, akin to a nuke strike. If North Korea hit zero and zeroed out all your accounts, it would be considered a first strike. Bitcoin ain't ours, so nobody would care. So be very this is the Wild West, folks. This Bitcoin stuff, I think it's a Ponzi scheme. I would not be investing or trading it. Nancy Marie Antoinette Pelosi, let them eat cake. When Donald Trump's tax cuts put a $2,000 or $1,000 back in your pocket, Nancy Pelosi called them crumbs. $600 that they passed last week, she said is significant. $600 for this COVID lockdown, folks. $2,000 is a smack in the face. It's an ad. Our government's broken. It's broken. It's insane. Millions and millions of dollars for gender studies in Pakistan. If the United States saw what the United States is doing to the United States, we would invade the United States to rescue the United States from the tyranny of the United States. It's a disgrace. Sending money to Sudan, Israel, all these countries, and you get $600. Be thankful, peasant. Goldman now sees Q1 GDP surging 5% thanks to the $900 billion COVID stimulus. Folks, you can't fight the Fed. Look at this thing. Look at this rip your face off rally. Up, up, up we go until we don't. Shades of 1999 as market mania returns in 2020. Here we go, man. We are up here at record highs. IPO frenzy, the SPACs, total option call volume, people getting bullish. Man, here we go. It is time right now to be very, very, very cautious. No one's gone broke taking a profit. I got some Microsoft. I got some Amazon. I got a bear call spread in Microsoft, and that's about it, man. I am in a lot of cash right now, kind of sitting on the sidelines, man. Got a lot of tinfoil hat wearing folks running around out there. Oh, there's going to be a this, or the electors, and the vice president's going to do this or this. Man, let's put the tinfoil hats aside, folks, and welcome to reality here, man. This is the country that's designed on peaceful transitions of power. You might not like it, but you have to like it because that's our system. So, but with all the conspiracy nuts running around out here with everything that could potentially happen, I don't know, man. Somebody yells fire in a crowded theater, which this market is very crowded right now. We're going to look at this. Look at how much we've hovered over this moving average. Slam. We've hovered over this moving average the same amount of time, and I don't know what it's going to be, but somebody's going to yell fire, and something's going to happen. I don't know if it's overseas, international. I don't know what's going to happen. Something is going to happen to cause this market to finally take a pause. Markets don't go up forever, folks. I ain't the dude doing pizza reviews saying stocks only go up. They don't. They go down, and when they go down, they can go down violently. Stocks go down a hell of a lot faster then they go up. There's a Wall Street saying that the market takes the escalator up and the elevator down. Well, this was a window down, so be very, very careful at this point. We had a great session this afternoon in Solo Amazon. We talked about how Amazon really is the Death Star, how it became the Death Star and will stay the Death Star by steamrolling rivals and partners, by stealing their stuff, how they build stuff, and then putting it up on their own and undercutting any rivals. It's un-American, but at the end of the day, until Uncle Sammy steps in, we're going to be bullish on Amazon. Let's take a real $32.98, up $125. Good looking stuff out of Amazon. What else is going on? Apple may be coming out with a car, and then the analysts kind of came out today and said, no, Apple not coming out with a car or pouring cold water saying, hey, it's too early to look at that. But Apple's had a nice rip your face off rally of late. Wow, up 5%. I hadn't looked at that since this morning. Whew. Good looking recent run out of Apple. E-Trade's charts have just been awful today. That's a 2-year chart. Let's go 3 months. Nice. This thing's starting to get on a tear. Look at that, up $5 today, man. I had 3,000 shares back here at about 120 bucks and did a covered call, and they got called away. Not going to complain about making money though. Good looking chart there. Okay, good stuff going on. A lot of good stuff. A lot of people taking advantage of the lifetime offer before the end of the year, before we go up in a little bit of price. And folks that are making donations to the foundation are just great Americans, man. We're doing some good work. Sending $10,000 to the wife and 2 kids of the young F-16 pilot killed a couple weeks ago, right in front of Christmas, man. Just right in front of Christmas. Hawk Jones, Captain Hawk Jones, crashing his F-16, I think, in the Upper Peninsula. Look at this. I mean, that picture right there will rip your heart out, man. God Almighty. So we're donating $10,000 to the college funds of their 2 kids. What a great American! I never knew the guy, never flew with him. It doesn't matter. Single seat fighter pilot, married with 2 kids. I knew the man, and many more like him who have lost their lives in the service of this country, or some men like him who just, like the worst statistic. If we've lost more veterans coming home since 2008 to suicide than we ever did in combat. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. I'm doing my best to fight that. And to put the ladder down. Okay. All right, folks, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and good to be back. Talk to you tomorrow.